You know Larry Sabater, right? He's the political professor down there at University of Virginia. He's got a great website called The Crystal Ball. He projects elections, essentially. Here's what he's saying today about November. Republicans pick up 7 seats in the Senate. Republicans pick up 27 seats in the House. Republicans pick up 6 slots on the governor's side. This will be a Republican election, Juan. The question is by how many, and I guess yesterday reinforces that, doesn't it?
It sure does. I mean, if you look at it now, you could even say that Larry Sabato is being on the conservative side in terms of the estimates of Republican victories, because there's so many retirements, there's so many competitive seats that the Democrats will have to hold even to just maintain a 7-seat loss that Larry Sabato is talking about.
Here's what Evan Bayh said this morning. No one's listening to the moderates. No one's listening to the independents. You and I have sat here for the past year and a half. We knew what America was talking about a year and a half ago. It was the economy and jobs. Now, why would Washington ignore that at their own peril, Juan?
Well, I think it's this is what Evan Bayh spoke about yesterday when he announced his retirement. And remember, this is the same thing that Kit Bond, a Republican, spoke about when he announced his retirement last year. That the Congress is just apparently polarized to the point of paralysis. They can't get anything done on big issues. You think about the big issues in American life. You mentioned jobs, health care, immigration. Nothing. Zero. They don't do anything. They talk, they point fingers, they play blame games. And I think lots of people just feel like, this is some kind of dance, but it's not a very purposeful one. And if you want to have a sense of accomplishing something in your political life, this is not the place to be.
Well, Congress is not popular, but I think it is actually more rare than common when the whole throw the bums attitude is actually carried out. I mean, you can make an argument the last significant time it happened was in 1994. In other words, people say, hey, we don't like members of Congress, but I'm kind of happy with my own guy. Well, we're going to find out in November whether or not that holds up.
Yeah. Now, don't forget, I mean, you pointed back to 94, but don't forget, I mean, clearly the Republicans lost control of the House 96 and then the Senate in 08. So, I'm sorry, 06 and 08. So what you have is here, people sort of roiling the waters.
Right, but the true, what I'm talking about are historical elections when the true earth shakers happen, and that was 94 much more than 2006 or 2008. Continue.
Right. I just meant transition, going from Republican control to Democratic control, and potentially now going back to Republican control in the Senate. I don't think the House is going to shift, the margin there being larger. But what's really telling to me at this moment is the number of people who are retiring. If you go back to the spring of 08, you had about 39 people, members of Congress, say they're leaving, they're frustrated. Already we're at the point of 43 saying, I'm out of here, I'm not taking this anymore. And Evan Bayh, as a moderate Democrat, I think what you're seeing is here that moderates feel just lost, feel like there's no place for them. You've either got to be at one extreme or the other, or otherwise you're out of the conversation. You're not in the deal.
That's a great point. And you know what fills that vacuum? New leadership fills that vacuum, whether it's conservative or liberal, Republican or Democrat. These are opportunities in political history where new faces and new names can truly come in with good opportunities to win new seats. This could be new blood that can chart a whole new course for this Congress.
Yeah, and remember, people thought that President Obama was going to be part of that new leadership, but his time, sad to say, has simply reinforced a lot of the political partisanship and made it sharper. And the decision to hand over something like health care, for example, to the Democratic leadership proved to be a mistake because they were highly partisan in the way they went about it. And that made Republicans into obstructionists and all the rest. That's Democrats' language describing the Republicans.
Tough year too, right? Yeah, I understand your point there.
Right. It's just like a clash.
I've got to run, but who's next? Who drops?
Well, you got to look at a number of the Democrats who are vulnerable right now. So a lot of talk about Blanche Lincoln in Arkansas. But if you think about Harry Reid, and I can't imagine him deciding not to run, but boy, he's an imperiled seat in Nevada. And, his own son says it'd be better for his son who's running for office if his dad got out. So you imagine that. It's a pretty tough time here.
Juan Williams, thank you. From Washington, good to see you, Juan. You got it.